Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you, 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 God, for everything. 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 Oh, thank you, God, for everything. Thank you.
Have you ever felt like there's a unique spark within you just waiting to shine? You're not alone. At the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe that everyone has the potential to transform their lives with practical spirituality. Picture this: a supportive community where everyone is striving for a deeper spiritual connection. Imagine workshops that inspire, classes that enlighten, and a welcoming community that affirms who you truly are. We like to think of ourselves as your spiritual gym. Just like physical wellness requires practice and dedication, so does spiritual wellness. Our empowering principles are designed for daily use, helping you make meaningful changes in your life. It's all about changing your mind to change your life. Sounds simple, right? Whether you're looking to unlock your potential, find clarity, or simply connect with like-minded individuals, the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont is the place to be. We're open and affirming to all because we believe that everyone deserves a chance to shine. So, are you ready to step into a more empowered version of yourself? Join us at the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
All right, my friends, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. Thank you for showing up in line. I know that we have lots of people, and showing up in person, I know that we have lots of people online. If we have any first-time guests, welcome. You can pick up a blue welcome packet in the back. After service, we have fellowship and a meal in Carter Hall. Please consider staying after service. We love to talk about the message and catch up with one another and spend some time in spiritual community. And please take a moment to make sure that your cell phone is silent. As we start off our service this morning, let's all say our vision statement about who we are choosing to be as a spiritual community. With all of the joy and enthusiasm we have this morning, CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. We are going to start with our opening song this morning. So as our song is playing, I encourage you to stand up and sing and go say hello to somebody you haven't seen in a while. Say good morning to your neighbors as we sing our opening song. Maybe.
Click opening song and change scene.
Good morning. Get ready to raise the roof. Spirit is in this place. We have come together as a family. We have come here as we are. Yes. And we have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Ooh. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Let's sing it together. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Yeah, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Ooh, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Ooh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Spirit is in this place. Let's sing it. Spirit is in this.
I guess we were going to end that early, but that's all right. I think everybody got a good taste of greeting each other. There you go. Well, normally it goes to a slide that says, turn to your neighbors and say, howdy neighbor, but I think we howdied each other pretty good right there. So we're going to go straight to the announcements. All right. So, first announcement, the Good Grief Support Group meets in the sanctuary every week on Thursdays in person from 1 to 2:30 p.m. I believe it's returning to its regular schedule this week on the 17th. So, any information you want on the Good Grief Group is back there on the information station. The Joel Goldsmith book discussion will continue on Thursdays at 4 o'clock p.m. It does become again, okay, this week, so perfect. Every first and third Sunday at 9 to 9:30 a.m., so that'll be next Sunday for anybody interested, join Reverend Michael Kirkaru for How to Speak Science of Mind in Carter Hall. It's just a quick little 30-minute get-together where they discuss how to talk the talk as you walk the walk, as it were. Sign up today for the Flower Ministry. I guess not. The flower, I know, right? Like, pay attention, Chuck. Anyway, the flower ministry, information is at the information station back there. These beautiful things come from that. And, of course, Reverend Beverly, that's right. So the next one is the Walk With Us to Prevent Suicide. It's on October 19th at 10 o'clock a.m. in Santa Monica. Contact Reverend Michael Krukerer for details. And also today we're going to have a second offering after the first offering, and all proceeds of that will go towards the Walk With Us to Prevent Suicide. There's a whole hoopla having to do with it. So Divine Dining is back with a fondue party on October 26th, 5 to 7 p.m. at Emmy's house. And trust me, if Emmy's involved, that means it's going to be fabulous. Oh, there she is. You're sneaking in at the last moment again, Emmy. The starting cost is $25. See Emmy for more details. Emmy's right over there for anybody who doesn't know. Also, join CSLB at Palm Springs Pride on Sunday, November 3rd at the CSL Palm Springs parking lot at 9 a.m. Now, I'm not sure, did we ever figure out if we're still having... You're speaking here? Okay, so we're still having service. So if you want to go to that, go ahead and go to that. Otherwise, we'll still be having service here that Sunday morning. That's the first Sunday in November. And then join us after service for food, because everybody loves food. Food is wonderful. My name is Adrian Madden. I'm one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living. The other practitioners and I will all be wearing these wonderful stoles. Will be available after service for a moment of prayer on this side of the sanctuary. So if you need some prayer, we will see you right after service and we'll go, aha, you need to talk. Please don't leave here this morning with anything on your heart. We'd love to pray with you. And we absolutely know that prayer works. I guess I'm supposed to give a power talk here. Really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to the meditation that I was talking about this morning. Today's talk, what is it called? It's well, that's creative. Well, that's creative. So it was, if I remember correctly, it's actually a talk about the creation process and how you get what you put in. My meditation this morning was about how to filter out and notice what you're noticing and understand that the things that come out are a reflection of what you put in. So if you're walking around saying things like, I am poor or I am broke, then your thought pattern will naturally gravitate there because you've trained your brain to do that. And then that's what you're going to get out of it. So that's my whole power talk right there. Trust me, he's got a lot more for it. So let's go ahead and listen to our meditative song here real quick, and then we will move on to a prayer.
In the
and
silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself.
God is omnipresent. God is in each and every person here, online, all around the world. God, there's no place where God is not. God is the absolute knowingness, omniscient, all knowledge, all wisdom. God is that ability to know exactly what needs to be said. God is that ability to hear exactly what you need to hear. God is here now in this room. I'm knowing this for myself. I'm knowing that clarity of God is available here and now in me and in each and every person listening to the sound of my voice, whether here or online. Each and every person here is open to receive that which is said. The things that they need to hear and know are available to them now. I am knowing and trusting that each person here is taking this message out into the world, is taking it beyond this moment to each and every person out there in the world who needs to hear it, and that their clarity to know exactly what to say and when to say it is opening up in each person here. I'm knowing and trusting that the blessing of God is here now on each person, each note of music, on Neil as he gives his talk, on each slide, every bit of information. I'm knowing and trusting all this and more is true, and I'm thankful for these truths. I am thankful for this clarity, this knowingness, the wisdom, the knowledge. I'm thankful for all this and more, and I release my word into the perfect action and order of the law, knowing it to be whole, complete, and perfect. Knowing that each and every person here feels this release. I let go and I let God, and together let us affirm this by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Got it. There we go. Good morning. I'm Reverend Neil. I'm a staff minister here for Center for Spiritual Living. In case anybody doesn't know who I am, thank you for joining me here this morning. I know you have lots of places to choose to be on Sunday mornings, so I appreciate your showing up and looking for some spiritual growth and spiritual community this morning. My talk title this morning is, well, that's creative. And if you've known me a long time, you probably have heard me say this before. And what it actually comes from is something I would say all the time to myself. Anytime I would drop something or break something or mess something up, I would say, well, that was stupid, right? How many of you have something that you say to yourself on a frequent basis, right? And so when I got into this teaching and we started talking about the power of our word and how important it was to say empowering things to ourselves. So I decided that instead of saying, well, that was stupid, I would say, well, that was creative. So when I dropped my coffee, instead of saying, well, that was stupid, I would say, well, that was creative. Right? It gave me something else to say because I found that when I was saying things like, that was stupid, what was I saying? I was saying I was stupid, right? So I decided I wasn't going to claim that anymore, and so I say, well, that was creative. What that got me thinking about was that idea about self-talk and that creative process that we often talk about in Science of Mind. Because what we say to ourselves is really important. It reflects our beliefs and our feelings and our attitudes. Bruce Lee said, "Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life." I think that's a good message. But it reminds me that I create my life, right? I create, even when I mess something up, I'm still being creative. And if I want to create something new, if I want to create something more empowering, then I can do that. So instead of saying, well, that was stupid, I can say, probably something that I've heard way too many times in my life, maybe when I was a kid, right? But I can change that story. I can change that creative process. Lao Tse said, "Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny." How many of you have heard something similar to that before? In our teaching, we call this spiritual principle the creative process. How life gets to be the way that it is. It's one of our spiritual principles. And you've probably have heard this metaphor that we use a lot in our classes, in our teaching, of the seed, the soil, and the plant. Seed being our thought, our intention, our beliefs. That goes into the soil, which is the universal subjective, or maybe you might want to call it the quantum field. And then that comes out as effect, or the plant. Seed, soil, plant. So that's the short version of the creative process. We plant a thought into the soil of the law, and the law, spirit, creative process, creative intelligence, acts upon it and creates that which we plant into it. Ernest Holmes said, "The soil does not argue nor deny, but goes to work on the seed and begins to create a plant which will represent the type of manifestation inherent as idea in the seed. From a cucumber seed, we get cucumbers. And from a cabbage seed, we get cabbages. Always the law maintains the individuality of the seed as it creates the plant. Never does it contradict the right of the seed to be what it really is." That's from page 354 of the Science of Mind textbook. So that's where we get this idea of seed, soil, and plant, the creative process. Reverend Edward Yoon, who used to be our spiritual leader, put this a little differently with a few less words. He said, "Whether we are aware of this creative process or not, the effect is the same. If certain specific ways of believing have produced limitations, other beliefs will change them." Which is just a fancy way of saying what Ernest Holmes said, which is what thought can do, thought can undo. What thought can do, thought can undo. Which always reminds me of, I was going to say Mary Baker Eddy, but that's not right. Wow, I can't think of her name.
Morrison?
Who?
Mary Morrison?
No, starts with a Mary though. The Christian Science lady. Can't think of her name. But she always said, says that if a belief can, or a thought can make you blush, think about like when you're embarrassed or you're being shy and your body flushes. If your body will flush or your body will react when you have a thought, imagine what else a thought can do. Just by being embarrassed, your body reacts, right? If it can do that, then what else can it do? So what thought can do, thought can undo. He said, I believe the power that makes us sick is the only power that can make us well. The power that impoverishes us is the only thing that can enrich us. But what I want to do this morning is come at that creative process maybe in a little different way. We're going to go deep this morning. Are you ready? Yeah. So what I want to do is kind of come at this creative process backwards. And it's something that we often do in our classes and in our practitioner training by asking ourselves that question, how did life get to be the way that it is? So we're going to start with the situation, we're going to start with the effect, and we're going to work backwards. Are you with me? So I want you to think of a situation in your life. It could be good or bad. Those are just labels, but that's a talk for another day. It could be something that you consider good. It could be something that you consider bad. Of course, it's always a little fun to prove to ourselves our principles if we can shift something negative in our lives. So sometimes it's a little bit funner to play with the negative stuff. Something that you would like to shift or change, I want you to have that firmly in your mind. And we're going to use the creative process, but we're going to use it going backwards. We're going to go backwards. And I want you to know this is not about blaming or shaming. This is not about being wrong or having messed up or being stupid or something is wrong with you. Because I know that there is nothing broken or missing about any of us. What this is about is self-awareness. Because what is revealed is healed. Self-awareness brings shift. When we know better, we do better. But it takes some willingness and some investigation on our part, sometimes to reveal that which needs to be healed. So that's the intention of this morning. We're shifting from that idea of, well, that was stupid, to, well, that was creative. Recognizing that we are all powerful, creative beings, and that we are all co-creators of our life. And maybe today, get a little deeper understanding of this thing that we call the creative process. Okay, so everybody have a situation in their mind? Maybe something you would like to shift? Oh, yeah. Now, sometimes the first question is, what choices did I make in this situation? What choices did I make in this situation? Now, sometimes this is the hardest part because our society likes to remind us that we're victims a lot. And if you listened to my talk a couple weeks ago, we talked about that idea of what is causative in your life. And again, I'm not victim shaming or blaming, but what I know is that no matter what the situation is, we have some freedom. We have some choice in it. We are always at choice. And while we don't always control everything that happens, we do control some part of it. We do have some choice. We always choose something. It might be how we react. It might be what we do with the information that we receive. It might have to do with what things we accept and what things we reject. What ideas we carry around with us and which ones we put down. We choose what something means. There's always some choice that we have in a situation. Because that's divine freedom. We choose how to respond, or we choose by not choosing, which is, of course, choosing. But we still choose. We always have some choice. Are we in control of everything that happens? Of course not. But we do always have a choice about how we react to a situation. So the first step in using the creative process is taking 100% responsibility for the way that life gets to be the way that it is. Otherwise, we're just living in victim consciousness. That's that first stage of spiritual development where everything's just happening to us, right? It just happens to me. I don't have any control over it. I don't have any choices. Life just comes flying at me. Now, of course, I have to stop here and just remind you, those of you that have known me long enough, is I'm just up here talking to myself. This entire talk is designed for me. You just get to listen in on it, and thank you for that. It might be for you too, but really it's just for me. Because this is all stuff that I needed to hear too. I've been a little victim consciousness lately about some things going on in my life, and this is happening to me. And so God said, guess we need to do a talk about that. So where do our choices come from? We make choices. We always are at choice. But where do those choices come from? Those choices come from our thoughts and our self-talk. The thoughts we have about a situation. What are the words that I use to talk to myself about the situation? Even if it's something that we label as good, sometimes I catch myself saying, oh, well, this can't last. Or waiting for the other shoe to drop. Anybody with me on that? Even when good things happen to us, sometimes we can't always completely accept them. We still have that little self-talk in the back goes, well, that won't happen, or I don't deserve this, or this won't last very long. Watch, I'll ruin this too. So we always have those thoughts and self-talks behind our choices. Now, I want you to notice I said self-talk, not necessarily what we tell other people, because sometimes those two things are not the same. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm amazing. I'm so blessed. And in your head, you're thinking, well, that was creative. Now, remember our creative process. Our thoughts and our self-talk are powered by our convictions, our feelings, and our emotions. So we make choices. Those choices come from our thoughts and our self-talk. And that thought and our self-talk comes from our feelings and emotions and our attitudes around something. Now, feelings and emotions are actually different things, according to Ernest Holmes. But again, that's a talk for another day. But what that means is that the stronger the emotions, the convictions, and the feelings behind our thoughts, the more creative they are. Ernest Holmes called this the fire, right? All of your thoughts are creative, yes, but those thoughts that you have are empowered by the feeling behind them. So that's one of the points of our spiritual practice is developing that feeling and that fire when we're doing affirmations or doing spiritual mind treatment, putting the feeling behind it. Because I can say that I'm whole, complete, and perfect all day, but if I don't have any feeling behind it, that feeling is what gives that thought juice. It's what plants it into the soil. So the next question is, what are the feelings and emotions behind my thoughts and my self-talk? What are my thoughts and self-talk about this situation, and how do I feel about it? Now, where do our feelings and emotions come from? Well, that takes us back to our seed, our belief. And we start putting this all together. What do my feelings, my emotions come from? They come from a seed. That seed is a belief. That's why Ernest Holmes says, if you change what you believe, you can change your life. Because our belief is that seed that gets planted. There is a root belief. There is an idea. What do I mean by belief? I mean an idea that we have accepted and embodied. Now, sometimes those beliefs are handed to us. Sometimes they're conscious, sometimes they're unconscious. Sometimes they're intentional, sometimes not. Oftentimes, we get all these beliefs when we're young, and our brain is like a sponge, and maybe we don't know any better. And someone once told us that we were stupid, and that seed got planted, and it stayed with us because we didn't know enough to reject it. Sometimes they come from our parents, sometimes they come from our culture. Sometimes we don't know where they come from. Sometimes they're just combinations of other beliefs that we might have been handed. But what we know in our spiritual practice is that when we use our spiritual practice, like affirmations and spiritual mind treatment, that we can change that belief. It's not locked in. If we don't like what has been planted in our garden, we can dig it up and plant something else. So this creative process is always operating in our lives, but we can interrupt it at any point. Now, the most effective thing is to go all the way back to those beliefs. We change the beliefs, we change our lives. So working backwards, here's kind of what the creative process looks like. Our choices come from our thoughts and our self-talk. Our thoughts and our self-talk come from our feelings and emotions. And those feelings and emotions about something comes from our beliefs. So how do I change that belief? If you want to change all the other steps along the way, the best thing to do is to change the belief. How do I do that? Well, one of our spiritual practices, one of our spiritual tools is affirmations. An affirmation is when we change what we say to ourselves, we change that self-talk, and we start that process of working backwards to change the belief. What we do is we take a belief that we want to embody, we make it a short statement, something that is easy for you to memorize, that anytime you start feeling those thoughts and self-talk, or those feelings or those attitudes, you can say that affirmation and remind yourself about the spiritual truth. You can start it with, I know, I accept, I am. Something positive, something short, something stated in the present moment. Not I will be, but that I am, because that's the belief. By doing this, we're creating new thoughts, new feelings, new beliefs about the situation. Now, it might feel weird at first. It might feel uncomfortable at first. It might feel like you're lying to yourself. But as we develop that conviction, as we develop the feeling, then that belief begins to shift and life shows up differently. So we take a situation and we go back to the belief that created it. Now here's that same creative process, but instead of going backwards, this is going forwards. Our beliefs create our feelings and attitudes and emotions. Our feelings, our attitudes, and emotions create our self-talk and our thoughts. And those thoughts and self-talk create our choices and our behaviors. And those choices and behaviors become the outcome, the effect that we see in our life. This is the creative process. Now, I told you we were going to go a little deep this morning. So this is a little deeper than seed, soil, plant, right? What we're going back to is talking about how do we change the seed. Look at a situation in your life. Take it step by step backwards to find out what was planted in the first place. Once you figure out what's planted, you can plant something else. So we can use these questions to look at that belief that has been operating. Sometimes our beliefs are operating on automatic. 90% of what we do is automatic. 90% of our beliefs are just running in the backgrounds of our minds. But when we have that self-awareness, when something is revealed, then it can be healed. So my homework for you this week is to be thinking about this process and how you might shift a situation in your life. Take a situation, and I'm going to post this on our website too, so you can go back and look at the questions. Think of a situation. Think about what thoughts you're having about it, what feelings you're having about it. What do those feelings and thoughts and self-talk that you have, what do those tell you about your belief? Now, if this all seems a little bit overwhelming and complicated, don't worry, we got you. Did you know that we actually have trained, tested, and licensed people in our community who have over 4 years of experience working with this process? They're called ministers and practitioners. They've actually been taking classes for at least 4 years, sometimes longer, that have actually learned this process and learn how to walk you back through that process to change that belief. That's what we do. Because we know that when you change your thinking, you change your life. So we have practitioners available to you. So all this is to say that no matter how you put it, whatever you want to label that situation, good or bad or neither, we want to get you to that point in your life where you can look around and you can say, well, that was creative. And so it is.
So it is.
And so we sit with this new insight. I trust that there was a gift in this morning for each one of you, whether it be in the music or the community or in the talk. As we contemplate the creative process, we trust that nothing is permanent, that the only power is spirit. The only principle is love. The only presence is peace. It is that power, that presence, that principle which I call God. It is the only power. And so I know that anything else that I've given my power away to, any situation, any condition in my life or in my mind or in my body, that is not power. It is not permanent. It has no law behind it. And so I take it back. I change my thought, I change my feelings, I change my belief, and I watch as a new plant, a new life, a new way of being unfolds. A new garden of life. Because the only power behind the plant is spirit. It is God, it is love, it is wisdom, it is peace. It is perfect, powerful, creative intelligence that knows how to create. And it only knows the word yes. The universe, the soil, the law, it doesn't care what you plant into it. It just says yes. And in that, I rejoice in the freedom of knowing that whatever is in my life, wherever there is an appearance of disharmony or disease or lack or limitation, that appearance can change. That which I have planted can be planted again. And so in this moment, in the silence of my own mind, I say an affirmation to myself. I am choosing something else. I am planting something new. I have a new idea, a new thought about this situation. And I trust and I know that that new thought is already planted, already growing, already present in the mind of God. And in its place, there is simply peace and joy and harmony and divine guidance. I know that there is only one power, one presence in the universe, and that power is good. That good is operating in and through and as me right here and right now. I accept it, I know it, I claim it, I embody it. And anything unlike that simply gets out of the way. Simply goes back to the nothingness from which it came. So in great gratitude, I celebrate the growth of this moment, this growth of this new idea, the ways that is already showing up in my life. As I release this word into that infinite law that always says yes, that soil that grows whatever it is planted into it, that mirror that shines back whatever I put in front of it. And in great gratitude and great surrender, I declare it to be so, and so it is.
When your feet feel a shift in the road, when uphill is the only way to go, when resistance is all you can find, surrender to the incline. When the levels all seem cocked and the easy way is blocked and that roller coaster is clicking up the climb, surrender to the incline. Up and away may not feel familiar, and the steps that you take, they don't lead to where you are. All the hard work that you're doing is gonna take you closer, nearer, higher to the stars, closer to who you are. Your spirit, it will not stand still. So hear it and let go of that will fall into the hands of time. Surrender, surrender, surrender to the incline. Up and away may not feel familiar, and the steps that you take, they don't lead to where you are. All the hard work that you're doing is gonna take you closer, nearer, higher to the stars, closer to who you are, closer to who you are. When your feet feel the shift in the road, and uphill is the only way to go, when resistance is all you can find, surrender to the
So before we get to our giving this morning, two things I wanted to mention. Number one, in case you didn't know this, that person who sings that song, Amy Steinberg, she's now Reverend Amy Steinberg as of this week. So we send her lots of love. Also, I wanted to mention, for those of you that may be interested in joining the Joel Goldsmith group, we are meeting this week. This is our last week of reading Practicing the Presence. After this, we start a new book, which is the actual Infinite Way book. Not Living the Infinite Way, but just the Infinite Way. So if you'd like to jump in at the beginning of a book, next week would be the week to do that. So order your book and jump in. All right, so this is that time in our service where we get to practice one of our spiritual principles, which is abundance and circulation and giving. If you are online, you can go to cslbeaumont.org and click on the donate button. If you're here in person, we have wonderful and beautiful and handsome ushers that are going to come forward. So I'm going to invite them forward. If you have your cell phone, you can also text to give to 951-420-6909. And after our first giving this morning, we're going to do a second giving with attached to our mental health walk that we're doing. So just keep that in mind. As we go into our giving, let's say our affirmation with joy and freedom. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
All right, so as we are going to do a second giving this morning by request of Reverend Michael, this giving is going to be to support the Walk With Us, to prevent suicide, that our center is participating in October 9th at 10 a.m. And this is our way of showing up in the world and letting people know that we exist so we can stop being the best kept secrets on the universe. And it's a way to support something that Reverend Michael deeply cares about. So he wanted me to share some thoughts and a video with you before we do this. If you are online, you can go to cslbeaumont.org, or if you're here this morning and you want to give later, you can go to the website, to the donation page, and there's actually a drop down, and just click the walk giving so we know where it's going to go, so you can designate your gift. If you are like me and you usually give on your text message, you can type the word give like you normally do and then write the word walk afterwards. So then it will go especially for this fund and this cause. So instead of just give, do give walk, and then it will go specifically to this fund. So Reverend Michael wanted me to share with you that losing someone to suicide or struggling with a mental illness can feel like no one understands what you're going through. Unlike other illnesses, it is difficult to look at someone and know their connection. The Out of Darkness walks are journeys of remembrance and events that unite a community, a time to acknowledge the ways in which suicide and mental illness have affected our lives and our loved ones. We all wear honor beads. Each color shows our personal connection to the cause and helps us identify with others who understand our experience. So if you are interested in participating in this walk, you'll have a chance to wear beads that indicate your connection to the purpose of this walk. And there's a short video that talks a little bit about it.
I wear orange for the loss of a sibling.
The white is for the loss of our child.
Green is for a personal struggle.
Purple is for losing a relative or friend.
We wear honor beads at the Out of the Darkness walks as a way to pay tribute to a loved one lost, a personal struggle, or a victory.
They come in different colors that represent the many ways that we're all connected to the cause of suicide prevention.
Since suicide so often is hidden and kept in the dark, the honor beads are really special because it's your way to be very open about your loss.
Gold is for losing a parent.
Silver represents the loss of a veteran or a first responder.
Red for losing a spouse or partner.
And teal represents having friends or family that struggle.
When I see other people with the same colored beads as me, it gives me hope that there's a future for all of us.
It's fantastic being here with these people who feel how I feel.
I wear orange, teal, and purple beads.
I wear green and teal beads.
I wear silver and teal beads.
And we all wear blue beads to show we support the cause.
Find your connection at afsp.org/honorbeads.
So it's a good reminder that a lot of us are affected in some way, close or remote, to mental health, and that we all have a stake in this. So I'm going to ask once again, our lovely ushers to come forward as we play a song. And again, if you can't give this morning, you can always do it online when you get home, or you can text to give by texting the word give and then walk.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
All right, as we close out our service this morning, we like to close and circle as we sing the peace song. However, if you don't wish to join us, we don't take it personally. You can stay right where you are, and we are going to surround you by love if you would like to stay in your seat. Otherwise, we will circle up and sing the peace song, followed by our benediction.
Yes,
And repeat after me. There's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I accept love. I embody love. And I give it away. Just in the way that is needed. And so it is. Thank you for joining us this morning.